Hello guys, today we are going to talk about the topics everybody's so uncomfortable with. They're acting like there is an elephant in the room, and it's about the money and how much money you need in a federal skilled worker program. So consider this video part 2 of my federal skilled worker program video. So we will talk how much money you need to show on your account. That's that section I already explained in that video. Minimum requirements, proof of funds, how much exceptions to this rule. Then we are going to talk about how much money you should bring to Canada if you are going under this program. So all these recommendations you can read in the description box below. It's on the government website, but I want to really explain you in a simplified way. So first of all, how much money do you need to show as a proof of funds? This is really important because if you are entering Canada via federal skilled worker program, you need to show proof of funds. This is what I already mentioned in the previous video. So how much money you will need? It depends how many people you are bringing with yourself. So to calculate the size of your family, you must include yourself, your spouse or partner, your dependent children. There is a description that explains what dependent children are, and it's in the description box below. Your spouse's dependent children. But please be careful. They specifically mention this, include your spouse or dependent children even if they are permanent residents or Canadian citizen and not coming to Canada with you. So for example, let's say I'm a mother and my husband is Canadian and I'm coming to Canada, right, with my 2 children. I will have to include my husband as well, even though he's Canadian citizen and my children, let's say they are not. So I have to include, there are 4 of us. So then you will look at this table that I will post here, and then you will understand how much money you need to show before coming. You have to show the proof you have this money, right? So for example, if you have only yourself, like let's say I'm a single person, you need to show $13,213. For 2, you need to show $16,449. Let's say family of 3, $20,222 Canadian dollars. For family of 4, $24,553 Canadian dollars. And I won't read for the rest, but here you can check it. So they explain for each additional family member you are adding $3,560 Canadian dollars. Why is it important to show the proof of funds? Because you have to show them that you are capable of, when you arrive, to sustain yourself. Like you have to pay the rent, and cost of living before while you are looking for the job. Because remember, federal skilled worker program is not asking you for the job offer. That's why every program that does not ask you for job offer, they will require, this is important, proof of funds. Okay, so now they're telling you what they accept as a valid proof. So this is really important. So funds must be available immediately to you. For example, you cannot use equity on real property as a proof of settlement funds. You also can borrow this money from another person. You must be able to use this money to pay the cost of living for your family, even if they are not coming with you. This is important. So if the father is only coming, he has 2 kids and wife, he needs, what we said, $24,553 to show that he has on the account. If your spouse is coming with you, you can count money you have together in a joint account. So for example, if you have a joint account, I know some countries, they do not have a joint account. They rather have, they can give permission for spouse to use their account. So that's okay, as long as you can prove that you're both using that account. You may be able to count money in an account under their name only, but you must prove you have access to the money. This is what I've explained you. Some countries, they do not have things like in Canada and the United States joint account. So for example, a husband only opens and then he gives a permission, to a wife. They go to notary, he gives a permission that she can use that money as well, So how I would show this, by her depositing, because she will get this receipt that she deposited the money or she took money away from the account. You can get this in a bank. This is really important for you to know. The funds must be available both when you apply and if they issue a permanent resident visa. So you have to have funds in the moment you apply and when they give you permanent residency. They can ask you and say, give me a proof that you have this money. You must prove to an immigration officer that you can legally access the money to use here when you arrive, to use in Canada when you arrive. So like, for example, I want to tell you something. There is port of entry in every country, and they do have a right, even though you have a valid visa in your passport, they can reject your entrance. So they can return you and say, you are missing this paper, bye-bye, you're not entering the country. So please, port of entry in any country, doesn't matter anything that you have like a visa in your passport or you got this. If he doesn't let you in the country because you are missing some document, don't allow this to yourself. So you have to be ready and have this paper and a proof that you can show. So for example, if you have application on the phone, sometimes officers might ask you, can you show me? And then you can show, go on your app and you show them, you do have this, you have this money available, available readily to you. That's the proof, there is no, you log in. He sees that you logged in your app, online banking mobile app, and you show him that this is on your savings or your checking, I don't know where you are putting money, and then, this is enough proof for the officer to let you in the country. It's not a custom, they might not never ask you this, at the port of entry, just like a paper from the bank that says that you have that money available to you, but they can, it's their right, so you have to be ready for this. Okay, so for proof, you must get official letter from any banks or financial institution where you are keeping money. So banks do charge this as an extra service. So they will say, this letter is here to confirm that XYZ have this amount in the bank that will be used in purpose for, let's say, for cost for living costs in Canada, and then official stamp of the bank and the number of account. This is how they do this letter. It's really important for you to have it with you. Remember this, because you are showing this at the port of entry. Letter must be printed on the financial institution letterhead, so they explain this. So I would, for all of you, I would, screenshot this, and then I would go to the bank and tell them how they need to do this. Because when I was studying in the US, I had to do this thing as well. And, I also did, I also showed this, a proof. They never asked me, to go to my, app and show. But once they put me in that room, because of something, the visa didn't arrive on time. And I was traveling with a paper, so they put me in that little room, and then I had to give an additional explanation. This is in the US, so I don't know how they can, what they can do in Canada, right? But always have your paperwork ready, and if you have, you don't have to be worried. I was so relaxed. I had all the paperwork, all the confirmations, because I was on my student status in the US, and I was changing status, and that was a little bit, there was some, kind of miscommunication between departments, and there was no problem. They just asked me, ma'am, what's your purpose? I showed them everything I had. They said, fine, enjoy your you're free to go. But they need to check. So this can happen to you at the port of entry. Please bear in mind. So let's see what your letter has. We said it has to have bank's official letterhead. Include their contact information, address, telephone number, and email address. Include your name. List outstanding debts such as credit card debts and loans. So if you're showing, like, let's say, credit card account, you can do that as well. And also if you're showing your checking account, then you show your, like, how you're spending money, right? It's a statement, monthly statement. I always go this far whenever I'm traveling to any country. Like when I'm moving, I put like 6 months statements, from my checking account, from my savings account, and I also do my credit card, so they can see that I'm paying off a credit card always on time, and that, they have some, I'm a reliable person, I won't be just like making a debt in their country. So include for each current bank and investment account the account number. This is really important. Date each account was opened and current balance of each account. Average balance for the past 6 months. So all the banks, usually the banks should know what it's included, but I will screenshot this and put it here so you can check, okay? It's really important. How much money you should bring. This is really important because, lots of people are asking me, let's say you come to this, to this step, and this is a sweet trouble because you are like, okay, finally I got my paperwork, I'm going to Canada, and now how much money in cash you should bring. So there is a rule in every country around, like, not if you have more than 10,000 Canadian dollars, you need to declare. What does that mean, declare? You have to go to the customs office and say, hey, I have more than $10,000, and you have to declare it. If you don't tell them, you may be fined and your funds could be seized. This includes cash, documents. So what are these 10,000? So you can have 10,000 in cash, documents that show property or capital payable to you, such as stocks, bonds, debentures, treasury bills, documents that guarantee payment for a set amount of money which are payable to you, such as banker's drafts, checks, money orders, traveler's checks. So my suggestion to you is don't bring more than 10,000 Canadian dollars, like we do because if there is per person, this is per person. So if there are 2 people, you can bring I would bring 9,900 Canadian dollars per person, just so you are okay. Because as soon as you come to the country, at least me, in every country I'm going, I'm running to the bank first with all the paper I have, for work visas and everything, the organization I'm working with for, and then I collect all the paperwork and my permanent my residency, and then I'm going to the bank and I'm opening the account. That's the first thing in every country you should think about. Open your account in that country. They won't let you open unless you have like a proof of status in that country. It can be like a temporary resident status, permanent residence, or whatever, work permit. So when you have these things with you, then you can open account. So I don't know, like if you are having a job offer, then you can do it. So another thing I want to discuss is who doesn't need proof of funds. So who doesn't need initially to prove that they have funds? You don't need to show that you have enough money to support yourself and your family. If you're applying under the Canadian Experience class, so this is a federal skilled worker program, and it says you are authorized to work in Canada and you have a valid job offer even if you apply under the federal skilled worker program. So it's really important for you to for you not to show the proof of funds in federal skilled worker program. You need to have a valid job offer. This is already I explained. So please bear in mind. So let's sum it up. $13,213 for one member, you need to show proof of funds. If you have a valid job offer, you don't need to show, right? And if you are coming to Canada, bring as much cash as you can, because as I said, if you have your temporary resident status, it doesn't matter, work permit or permanent residency, the first thing you should do is run to the bank, open the Canadian bank account, deposit all that money you have in cash. because you don't want to walk around with that money in Canada, right? You just put it on your debit card and you can pay everything. Like with a card, if you lose the card, you just pick up the phone and say, hey, block it, right? If you have a cash, somebody robs you, you cannot do anything, right? So please bear this in mind. It's really important. Another thing, this is from a personal experience, the bonus I wanted to share with you. So lots of you, you do have a problem. Financial situation is a problem, and it's a problem to show the proof of funds. I know lots of my clients, they sell lands, they sell apartments because they decided they don't want to live in their country anymore, and they said, we are leaving to Canada, and that's fine. But please, let's say you don't have to show the proof of funds, you have a job offer. Please, you need at least 5,000 Canadian dollars to be able to come to Canada and survive the first month. And that is if you rent a room in an apartment with other people. So for those of you who are struggling with money, think about this, if you're coming by yourself. So maybe you should rent a room for the first 3 months, because this is the adjustment period you will need to, get all the money from your, salaries, return the debts, that you maybe borrowed the money to come to Canada and things like that. So first 3 months you can share, the apartment with some roommates, like, you just rent the room. This is my suggestion to you from personal experience, and also from, other clients who also had this issue. But please bear in mind, if you do not have this proof of funds, don't go to Canada. If you don't have a valid job offer, then I always suggest look for the job if you cannot show the proof of funds. Because if you're looking for the job, you have a valid job offer, there is no proof of funds. Because you have, in that case, you need at least 5,000 Canadian dollars to survive first month. That's my recommendation. Hopefully I helped you with these suggestions and with this information, and I would really appreciate if you like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's really important for me that you hit this bell button, because then you will get all the notifications when I'm recording the videos. Also follow me on my Instagram, stepup_Canada. And last warning, some of you who do not have financial means and who are expecting me to look for the job for them for free and not paying up front, you are not my clientele. I don't want to take you. You are not the people I want to collaborate with. So please stop sending me, these emails asking me, can you find me a job and then I will pay you. That doesn't work like that, because I cannot be sure that you will pass the interview. So I'm spending my time, look for the job for you, and then you are like, you don't pass the interview and you say, I won't pay you. That doesn't work like that. You have to pay up front, and then, we do have a contract that we are both signing. So please stop sending these stupid emails, because with that mindset, you will never manage anything in life. It's a scarcity mindset, and you have to think about, your relationship with money and trust if you have this kind of mentality. So please, hopefully I was clear. So there will be a warning at the beginning of the video, who can send me email with a resume. Thank you. Bye.